Hi, this is Ilma Art Studio photograph for today, and that is a jazz festival with an auto or the car show in the midst of the streets in Orangeville. It's one of the biggest festivals in Orangeville. It's called the Blues and Jazz Festivals. Hi, how are you today? I'd like for you to check my website at ilmaarts.com. That's ILMAARTS.com. So for more of my photographs and artworks. Today I'd like to share with you the Proverbs 29:22-23, which says, "An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Pride ends in humiliation, while humility brings honor." And here's my poem. Avoid the angry. When you bump into an angry person, run fast to avoid conflict and confusion. Where there is a dispute or fight, there an angry person is in sight. Beware when you are provoked to anger. This means that your spirit is in danger. Avoid all people who are angry and proud. You will hear their voices that are so explosive and loud. And here's the essay part. Have you ever been in a relationship with an angry person? It is very stressful to be around angry people. There are two types of anger, the impulsive and the explosive. The first type are quiet and looks like they are in control, but they give sarcastic remarks, insults, or put-downs. The second type is as easy to spot because they are loud and like time bombs. The Bible cautions us from people who starts fights, those who are hot-tempered and proud. They often lead to other sins. They have no dignity and integrity. All they want is to attract attention and impatiently want to get their way. These kinds of people end up humiliated in the end. We are summoned to be humble so we can bring honor to God. Prayer. Lord, do not lead me to angry people. Reflection. Why do we need to avoid angry and proud people? And here is my testimony regarding this verse. I have been an angry person for quite a while, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was able to probably have controlled all my anger all my 40 years of living, and I used art to channel my anger, and which was very productive because I was able to come up with exhibits and come up with selling 400 of my works and all that. And I treated like all my artworks, especially when I began to paint, because I was so angry at that time. So every time I'm at the height of my anger or I'm at the height of an emotional upheaval, I would do something. I would paint. And so I guess that I consider these paintings like my babies. For a while I was clinging to them. It took me 270 artworks before I started to let go one of them. And I was so kind of weird that I would be checking out on all those people who bought my paintings to make sure it's like I treated them like my own babies. And so I guess for so many years I was able to manage that, and I didn't even know that I was an angry person. And perhaps I was able to channel it, but then eventually when I moved to Canada and I was presented with all kinds of changes and experiencing culture shock as well, plus experiencing abuse from my first husband. That was really, that made me angry after a while. And then I got divorced the first time my divorce is the worst thing. Like I felt so depressed and I felt so frustrated and I felt like I died. Like I literally died. And then later on it turned into anger slowly. and it was very sneaky. It was sneaky when it's starting to, you know, get into me, but it only became manifest when I started living with, you know, with somebody, with a son, my son, and you know, and then it created a lot, because coming from, also from the Philippines, it created a lot of, you know, venue to air it out. But thanks to God that He actually healed me. I went through an anger management course, and I went through trauma therapy for almost a year. But these people don't really, you know, it's like everything that I'm reading in the Bible right now, all these people have written books about them. So what I'm trying to say is that in the Bible it says that anger is a sin if it is gonna hurt somebody else. But anger in itself is not a sin, because like that's an emotion. But what you do about your emotion is what can make it into a sin. So I lived with a man. I used to live with a man who was so angry, and it is just draining to be with him. And I suggest that if you ever find somebody, if you make sure that you're not in a relationship with somebody very angry, because eventually, later on, you will actually assimilate what that anger is. And if you're not gonna go crazy, you're probably gonna be as angry as that person later on. So I think the root cause of anger is usually pride, because when you're a proud person, you have certain entitlements, expectations, and when they don't get it, that's when they flare up. Or maybe something happened to them that they were so deprived, or they were so helpless that that they're trying to get over that feeling. That's why they're angry. Or they could have been abused, or have done something wrong to them and was not punished for what they have done to her or him, and so she or he, that person, stayed angry. So I'd like to invite you to take a look at yourself. Are you an angry person? Are you do you have irritability? Because it could also be manifested not just in explosions. It could be something like sarcasm. It could be a joke, you know, a funny sarcastic joke, or it could be a cold treatment, a withdrawal from other people. So there are so many ways that anger manifests, but also in Ephesians 4:26 it says that do not let your anger control you, and do not go to do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. So in other words, what the Bible is saying is that we should be able to forgive and then move on. Like, you know, when we're angry, confess and then forgive the person who made you angry, or forgive yourself and then move on. So thanks for watching, and I hope you'll check my website at ilmaarts.com, and also my book at blurb.com, which is entitled My Love Affair with Orangeville. Have a great night.